Hey, high levelers, Rio Daniel. In this video, I'm going to go over a very popular topic here with GoHighlevel, and that is real estate. Now, real estate encompasses several different things, and I'm going to focus specifically on this video on real estate agents. Now, you can also do this for real estate property management companies, real estate investors. All of these are good sort of other sub niches within the real estate space to go into, but I'm going to sit back and go over just setting up an actual snapshot here, guys. I'm going to give you a snapshot for a real estate agent with just some basic information that I think would be helpful for you. If you ever wanted to go after and use real estate agent as a niche and a client to go and get your SaaS business, what would that look like and what would the setup be? So before I move into that, what I wanted to do is prepare you. If you're not familiar with dealing with real estate agents, what kind of problems are they going to have in their business? Now, I'll give you some background. I was a broker, a real estate broker in my state of Missouri for 8 years. Now, for that entire length of time, my brokerage, for the most part, I set up to do property management. I was managing my own rental properties as well as about 50 or 60 other investors' properties and so forth as well. I sold that business a couple of years ago because it's just a rough business for me and I didn't really want to continue with it. But anyway, so I understand the real estate space, the brokerage, property management, and specifically like the real estate agents, because we did do transactions with our clients. Our clients often bought investment properties, sold investment properties. So we're familiar with just at least the concept of a real estate agent. Now, if you're a real estate agent, one of the things I want to make sure that you understand is what an agent has to do to get a necessary license to get set up inside of their brokerage. Now, in the state of Missouri, at least, this could be different in other states. I know my bordering Illinois state's a little bit different, but you have people who have a broker's license and people that just have a real estate agent's license. Now, in order to run an office or to run a brokerage, you have to have a real estate broker. The license for the broker has to be maintained across the organization in order for any real estate agents to work under a broker, which brings up my next point. Any real estate agent, at least in certain states, may have to work under a broker's license, meaning they cannot operate their own real estate business without being underneath the brokerage. Now, there are lots of different brokerages out there nationwide. There's Keller Williams, there's Coldwell Gundigger, there's all these other big brands and things like that. A lot of agents, when they get their license, they actually sign up underneath some of these larger companies. Now, there's some benefits to that and also some downsides. I'll talk about the downsides. A lot of times you're stuck doing things in that office that you don't necessarily want to do. And I'm not going to go into the details, but like one of them would be phone duty. Sometimes as a new agent, you have to sit back and monitor phones from certain time to time in the brokerage office. That may be a part of your responsibilities for that particular office. So there are some things that kind of suck, and you do have to follow the corporate guidelines for whatever real estate brokerage office that you move into. Meaning you have to use maybe their approved forms. You have to push people to their title companies. You have to do things their way, okay, if you move in there. And they'll provide training. That's one of the least of the pros about working for a big company is they provide, they bring in training or people to train you at least on a monthly basis at a minimum, if not more than that. But they're really big on making sure that you understand how the office works, how you can get more clients, because the more clients you do, the more deals you do, the more money the brokerage gets. Because keep in mind, when the real estate agent gets a commission, that commission is split between the real estate agent and the office that person is working in. Now, I'm giving you this background information for those people out there that have never dealt with real estate agents, just so that you have an idea of what this process looks like. Now, one of the also pros when you move into an office like this is that they already have software and websites and things like that they set up for real estate agents. Now, what do I mean by that? So for the most part, real estate agents need to be able to provide access for their clients to access the MLS. So let's just say you're working with buyers, meaning you are a buyer's agent. So you're working with people who want to buy a home, not necessarily ones that want to sell a home. We'll go over that stuff later. But let's just say you're working for somebody that wants to buy a home. In order for somebody to buy a home, you typically have to get them access or allow them to search the MLS. Now, there are several different companies out there that provide MLS access through third-party websites. The benefit of going with these bigger companies is that they already have this integration. They make it very easy. And for the most part, whenever you sign up, you get your own like little branded, forgive me, website under their corporate brand. If it's like kellerwilliams.com/something. So in a sense, real estate agents don't really have their own domain name, even though they could. You have to check the guidelines on that one here, but you can have your own website, but most of them use the site that is set up in their office because the IT person or whoever it is behind the scenes sets it up for them and makes it nice and easy. Access to the MLS and things like that, they can do through their site on the corporate website. Now, some of the other things that most other people do is if you ever see people who are beginning to grow. So you have a real estate agent and they actually have, they could be a team of people, meaning it could be, mother, daughter, sister, or they could just be one person that has a lot of other agents working under them, which is fine. And then they call themselves the team, the Johnson team, things like that. And so these type of people typically have their own websites and have their own sort of integration into that. And I'm going to show you how you can do that inside of the GoHighlevel platform when I start going over my snapshot, what I'm going to be able to give for you, how it works and things like that. I'm going to cover all that when we get there. But having that ability is pretty cool. And I oftentimes highly recommend that real estate agents get their own sort of website where they can push people to, because ultimately real estate agents move between offices. It's inevitable. You get tired of this, or you don't like this, or you want to move from Keller Williams to EXP or something like that. If you want to do that, the problem is that all of the marketing, all of the business cards that you've handed out says, oh, go visit me at kellerwilliams.com/Sandy Johnson or something like that. That would be your website, and your phone number, for the most part, could be tied to your cell phone, or it could be an office phone number inside of your branch. So you understand what I'm saying here. As you move between things, you want people to always be able to find you. So doing this should always require you to get your own brand, your own domain, even you're setting up your own domain emails, where you can get emails outside of whatever office you're working from. Now you can get emails inside there as well, but ultimately, if you want to have your own brand, you need to start building your own brand. Now, ultimately, my recommendation is to just get whatever your name is. If your name is available, definitely grab it. Yeah, if not, try one of the other ones. If like sandyjohnson.com isn't available, then try sandyjohnson.realestate or something like that. That's close, that you can start building your own website, your own brand, and things like that, no matter where office you work for. Now, why am I mentioning this? I'm mentioning this because I want to sit back and help you understand real estate agents and how basically what they already have and then what Highlevel can offer them. Okay. They already have the back end MLS Access website, basic information. They'll put their photo on the Keller Williams site, their phone number and things like that. But one of the things that these systems really don't do well is they don't really do marketing very well. And that's what Highlevel does very well, is the marketing piece. So a lot of real estate agents require and oftentimes will use other third-party systems to do ad management. If they're running ads, or if they're doing their own marketing, or if they want to have their own website, they're going to have to go out and get their own website built from WordPress or inside of Highlevel, whatever it is. But they're going to have that built, which is where you guys come in using Highlevel to help solve some of these business problems. So one of the things are, how can they offer things like free lead magnets, giveaways, and how to do opt-ins for all of those. Right now, if they want to do that, real estate agents can't do that using the website that they have built in on the back end, because that's a separate website and not really designed to isolate these type of things for a particular real estate agent. So agents need their own software to handle their CRM, their customers, their clients, things like that, and then be able to handle their leads and things like that. So this is where the Highlevel system really comes in handy, because this right here can replace or be the front end system for all the marketing that real estate agents need and use. So that's the premise of why I built the real estate snapshot that I'm going to be showing you today. So you can, again, it's not a full 100% complete. It's there to get you hopefully 80 to 90% of the way there. And then you might need to customize some stuff, but really to get you going very quickly and not have to build all of this stuff out. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop into it. I just want to give you a quick background of real estate agents, kind of what they get when they get their license, and then what they're missing. Again, they have to go out and buy all this other software on top of all the fees that they have to pay as being a real estate agent. So they're already paying for software to do the stuff that I'm going to show you. That's the benefit. And what you can do is, I wouldn't say come in and undercut them. You can definitely provide value, but you can start implementing a lot of the features inside of Highlevel to help real estate agents solve their business problems. Now, typically some of the business problems of a real estate agent are no different than that of a small business. So time is always a factor. They want to get as many leads as possible. They want to respond to those leads immediately. They want to capture those leads, meet with them, and ultimately, in a sense, get a contract or agreement signed for them to be able to either help somebody buy a home or help somebody list a property for sale and sell a home. Now, this is where the Highlevel system really comes into play. Now, I will tell you this here. I do not ever recommend using Highlevel to do any kind of contracts with real estate agents. No. Real estate agents, one of the things about being a real estate agent is you cannot build your own contracts, because if you're building your own contracts, you are in a sense an attorney. You are building a contract, and because if you create your own agreements, create your own contracts, then this is a problem for real estate agents. That's why real estate agents have to use standard state prepared forms in order to do, buyer's agreement or a listing agreement, things like that. Those are all done, and all the documents and counter offers and all the stuff that goes back and forth between a real estate agent, buyers, sellers, and things like that all have to be done using state approved forms. So I want to say that specifically because this is where a lot of people can get burnt trying to implement some of the contracts and agreements inside of Highlevel and integrate that with the CRM. No, you'd have to integrate that with another system, but you have to use state approved forms. Now, I will say this: if you are a real estate investor, that's not true, because you can create your own forms. You can create your own lease if you are a real estate investor and you own rental property because you're the property owner. So of course you want to get legal guidance before you do all that to make sure that you're not violating any particular laws by implementing certain agreements inside of your leases and things like that. But as far as real estate agents, they are very stringent upon the contracts that they use. They have to use certain ones in order to be a real estate agent. Otherwise, they can get in trouble. So right now, in this particular snapshot, and the thing I'm going to be going over is how to use it for marketing, how to use it for, again, for some of the basic things that we talked about, like social media output. Because most real estate agents, they are on social media. A lot of them are going to be posting their listings out there, posting their wins, posting their closings. These things have to be done somewhere. Now, real estate agents, may very well, again, be paying for a real estate a social media posting software, which guess what? Highlevel has that. So that is another feature that you can build in to the Highlevel platform to help them out and reduce their monthly costs. So if you start looking at how much you're paying for this social media or somebody to create their content or somebody to handle their content, that's one savings that you're going to be able to do for them. Any website, photo pages, lead pages, things like that, that's a second thing that you're going to be able to save them money on. A CRM system, that's a third system that you're going to be able to save them money on because they need somewhere to handle all of their customers. Okay. And you're also going to be able to do again, CRM systems aren't necessarily already built to integrate with email and text marketing systems. Again, that's going to be 4 and 5. So do you see how all of these things begin building on each other? So all of these different services that real estate agents have to pay for, calendaring services. I'm going to keep going, but I mean, we're at like number 6 now for calendaring services. So they don't need Calendly or some other kind of calendar scheduling software. You can use Highlevel to do all of their scheduling and integrate that with their backend Google or Outlook calendars. So again, that's another feature that you can have. What was another one here? So lead magnets, social media. So I'm going to go over some other stuff here. I might have lost my train of thought on that one, but you already see there are several factors that you can get that you can sell them, inside of Highlevel that they would normally end up be paying for anyway. And the package that you could put together may very well be cheaper than the package that they're already paying for because you're paying for all these 5, 6, 7 pieces. And again, we haven't even gone over or talked about a lot of the AI features in here. So again, if they already have a website and they already have this, which by the way, let me give you an example of this. The website chat widget. This is another con I want to bring up here. The website chat widget has code on it that you can integrate with an existing third-party site, right? Everybody should know that if you watched a lot of the chat widget videos that I have on my YouTube channel. But the problem is that these pieces of code cannot be installed on corporate websites. Okay, it cannot be. So that's another downside is that you only get with these corporate kellerwilliams.com/Sandy Johnson thing we talked about. That website is very cookie cutter. It has, a picture, your phone number, some basic information on it. It has maybe an opt-in form on there that you could like a contact form, and then maybe access to search, the MLS and things like that for their clients. That's really about it. That's the limit of what these websites can do because they're corporate and they're all cookie cutter. Now, so again, you can't implement a chat widget. You can't implement any kind of AI through that chat widget on the site. This is where you have to use another system like, again, Highlevel, or if they already have a WordPress site built, then you can use these chat widgets and other forms and calendar integrations and things like that on their WordPress website and take advantage of all the automation pieces inside of Highlevel, which again, they may not even have automation currently with what they're dealing with. So now we're on like 8 features that you can sell them if you include AI. So right now, I'm going to go over the snapshot. I know I've been talking for a while, but I really want to get you prepped on just some of the things that you can help when it comes to real estate agents, sell them on, hey, you're already paying $100 a month for this, $150 a month for that. Who knows? They could even have an answering service as well. Because if a real estate agent can't pick up their phone, they may have a phone number. Sometimes real estate agents just have it go directly to their cell phone. But if they can't pick up and answer it, they realize that if they can't pick up a call, they may be losing a particular client. So they could have a standard phone number that they use for their office that then again routes. Again, that's another system another phone system that they need that you in turn can move inside of Highlevel because they're on a phone system. Again, what is that, number 9 or something like that, benefits that you can potentially sell them? All of these things can help them reduce their cost. And they can be paying $600, $700, $800 a month with all these other tools and have to log into 4 or 5 different places to manage all of them. Whereas now you can sell them a package for $297, $497, still cheaper than what they're getting, and integrate all of these features together. Okay. So again, but I tell you what, I've been talking enough here. Let's hop in and start taking a look at some of the things I built for you guys. Okay, so inside of here, this is my sub account that I'm actually using to create the snapshot that I'm giving away to you guys. By the way, hang in there with me and I will give you the link and stuff like that, show you how to get this and download it here in a little bit. So right now, what I've built in here, there's only so many things I can build into a snapshot and other things that have to be done after the snapshot's applied because not everything can be contained within a snapshot. Now, I've got a little presentation up here in this tab that I'm going to go over toward the end. That's going to be some additional things that you're going to need to set up on top of the snapshot once you get this thing set up. And then, of course, customizing some of the pieces in here. Some of the other things that you're going to need to do as a task list for making sure that the real estate agent can get set up, start doing business, and start working immediately. Let's go ahead and hop into it. The first thing I want to do is go down the list over here. Is just to hit the calendar. Right now, I have just one calendar on here, and I'm just calling it appointment setting. The whole point that we're using this for, again, this is a personal calendar. It doesn't have to be complex. You can sit back and adjust. I've got the duration being 60 minutes by default, like 1 hour. So if you have, the point of this is that any new leads that this real estate agent gets from either a social media post, it could be from Facebook ads, it could be from Google ads, it could be from a lead magnet website funnel, it could be from anywhere. Okay, I'm going to show you all the automations I built in here that you can easily add multiple triggers to these and have these automations run. But for right now, a simple calendar is really all you need. Now, with this, of course, I can't personalize it. If you've ever worked with calendars, the calendars can be customized. You can put the picture of the agent on there. You can customize the calendar name, the description, what the calendar looks like, and things like that. Go do that later. But ultimately, we have one calendar that's built into all of this that allows them to just simply book appointments. And the appointment for that is really just to get on a Zoom call, talk with the person, or even on a phone call with them, if that makes sense. To sit back and say, hey, here's what we can do. Here's how we can work together. Do you want to move forward and get an agreement signed? That's really it. So we have just one calendar here. Now, while we're in the back end here, I do want to sit back and cover some of these custom values. So some of the custom values that we have is we have an appointment setting calendar, which this custom value will need to be set. So when you get your calendar set up now, this could be, for instance, this is where I don't know if you're going to put the calendar on a high level site. Like I'm going to show you, I've got some funnels built for lead generation that have those built in there. I don't know if you want to use the calendar there or if you want to embed the calendar in their existing WordPress site or some other site they have on a third party. This is where I couldn't really program this, but whatever the link is to that calendar, this is where you would want to sit back and edit this custom value and put that in there for them. That way, moving forward, any of the links for the emails, the nurture campaigns or anything like that, where it says, hey, click here to schedule an appointment with me, will automatically be using this calendar link. Now, this meeting link, this right here is set up again for all of your emails, texts, and things like that for being able to sit back and communicate on Zoom. So if you're using Zoom, then you can sit back and put your Zoom link in here and have that readily available. And then that's already integrated into some of the emails and text sequences that you're going to see in this snapshot. Now, the promotion 1 and promotion 2, these are really for lead magnets. If you're not really going to be using lead magnets, you don't need to do this. But one of the things I want to sit back and help you understand is I've already got this populated. I just want to give you some examples. One of your first promotions could be how to sell your home in 30 days guide. So that could be a free giveaway, a lead magnet if you're looking to get more people to sell their house. Maybe they want to do it themselves. So you're going to give them a lead magnet, like how to sell your home in 30 days guide. They're going to try it. They're going to get frustrated. And of course, because you've been so helpful, they're going to give you a call afterwards to say, no, we really don't want to do all this type of thing, because you can be very detailed in this. And one of the things about these guides that are very helpful is to be very thorough and have this thing be like 20, 30 pages. Have it be very thorough, clean your house, get all the repairs fixed, do all this other stuff. You want to list all of these things and they're going to be like, no, I don't want to do all that. I don't want to handle all that. Boom. Then they're going to hire an agent to help them out with all of that, which brings your real estate agent client into the mix. So that's one of the free giveaways. Another one I've seen is like a free property sale evaluation report. So some people may not know what their property is worth. This right here would be a good way to say, hey, if you're interested in getting a free property evaluation, let me know. Come here to my webpage, click on the link here, and it takes them to another funnel page. That funnel page then collects, of course, not only their first name, email, phone number, but it's going to gather property information as well. So that's one of the things. I have several custom fields built out here that's going to be getting property address and things like that. Now, I do want to sit back and explain the difference. Here, I do have custom fields that represent the property address 1 and 2, because sometimes there's two spaces for address, city, state, zip, bedrooms, bathrooms, square footage, things like that. You're going to need to collect that basic information, but I didn't want to use the address field in the contact record because sometimes people, for instance, they're looking to sell their home, but they've already moved to their new home. Does that make sense? So the address that you have in the contact record could be where they're currently living at, but the property address could be the property address of the property they're looking to sell, which is why I created custom fields to hold the property information. So I want to make sure that when I say property, you understand that means the property in question to be sold, that type of thing. Okay. So right now there are some custom values that you have to edit here. If you come here to custom fields, I do have a folder. And one of the things I've got set up here, I'm a big organizational nut myself. When I first started with Highlevel, I just put all of the fields under contact or general info. And it became a nightmare for me to try to go figure out where all these data points from all the forms were to try to pull that information in. So right now I've just started using folders. They're a great way to, under the contact record, to sit back and just expand the folder, and then all the information regarding the properties underneath here. So if we open this up, we see we have property address. Blow this up a little bit. Property address 1-2, property city, state, zip code, square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms. So these are just some basic things that you're going to need if you're going to do some sort of a property evaluation. And realistically, this doesn't have to be like a really extensive. This could be, they're often called, in the day, BPOs or things like that, but it's really just a quick, hey, I did a quick search over this, and your house price range is going to be somewhere between the, $210,000 to $240,000 range based upon the basic information you've given me. But in order for me to really lock it down, I have to understand all the updates and blah, 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 blah. That's wrong with the house. So these are things that, again, are just basic information to give you a basic range. Obviously, if you put money and you've got new kitchens, new bathrooms versus old kitchens and old bathrooms, then your property isn't going to be worth as much. So, but this is just, again, a way to get your foot in the door, get that lead, to begin talking to that lead, to hopefully be able to sell, get a listing agreement to sell that person's house. So right now, I was really interested in using custom objects in here to sit back and really start building property objects and stuff like that. But unfortunately, objects are not built into snapshots yet. That would have done any of you guys any good. So I'm going to come back over here and go into the opportunities. This is, again, another thing that real estate agents need. They need to be able to sit back and track their leads. Now, if you're dealing with a real estate agent, you absolutely need to be able to make sure that you have a pipeline and put everybody into the right stage of that pipeline so that the agent can know what to do next. Because basically, based upon the stage that the client or the lead is in, this means that the agent is going to begin either nurturing them, calling them, doing something, or trying to move them to the next step. So right here is a few of them. I'm going to come here to the pipeline. I just called it client tracking pipeline. Now this pipeline, again, is integrated into all the workflows and things like that. I would highly recommend don't delete this pipeline. If you want to add to it, then add to it, change the name of it, do that, but don't delete it, because if you rename it, then the renamed pipeline will be already in all the workflows and things like that. It won't mess you up. Okay. So just use the one that's here, rename it here at the top if you want to, add new stages to it. But for right now, I just want to give some basic stages of a real estate agent. You either have a new lead comes in, either that it's a new lead. Ultimately, what you're trying to do is get them to book an appointment. Sometimes they may not book an appointment. If you can capture the lead directly, they might go from new lead to agreement signed and move to that stage. But that's the next one, is once you talk to somebody, you have an appointment, go over your services, what you offer, you're going to get them to sign an agreement. From there, either the client buys a house or sold a house kind of thing. They left a review or leave a review, something like that. So they're in the review stage, like you're already done with them. You've sold them the house. You've helped somebody buy a house, and now you move them to leave a review stage or something like that. And then if they don't do any of it, those people that just don't respond to your leads and they don't follow your nurture sequence and they don't respond at all, you might want to keep nurturing them. But if you don't want to, you can always drop them into an abandoned lead, no reply type of stage at the very end. So this right here is just something I built. And then right now you can simply, depending upon when people come in, move them to certain stages. And then if they're in a certain stage for a certain length of time, then you can have a workflow trigger and do other things that's cool with the automation. So right now we're going to keep moving down to marketing. I'm trying to go down just in order here. The social planner, I'll talk about this a little bit later on here with some of these follow-up items that we're going to talk about here. But right now, inside of the email templates, you also do get this email review is the reputation management email template that you actually are going to see. We'll take a look at that later when we get down to reputation management. But this is an email here. And then your property analysis, I left this in here. This snapshot is really built off of the Highlevel snapshot for some of the real estate management companies. I've had to change and get rid of a lot for it to just focus and make it very specific to real estate agents. So, but this is a leftover email that you guys can look at. I thought it was pretty nice if you want to do property analysis and you want to send that out. But right now, as far as snippets, there's just a couple of snippets here that are available to you if you want to be able to use those. But next, we're going to come into automations. Now, I'm going to hold off on the automations piece. I am going to actually hop over this and go to the sites, and then I'm going to come back to automations once you see what I've got set up in here. So for the sites, what I've got is just a couple of different things. Number one, you absolutely need a landing page for somebody to be able to book an appointment with them. Now, if you've got a third-party website and you're going to use a calendar feature on a third-party website, then that's fine, perfect. But if you don't have that, you absolutely need a page where people can say, book an appointment, book a call with me, and then that's what this is right here. This one-page funnel, and if we take a look at it here, book with me, and then a thank you page. It's very simple. If we look at this, is a basic template built into Highlevel. So you can change the background, put your logo up in here, or just simply delete it, change the image here, book a call with whoever. If you want to put a little sales video, things like that. So your form for your appointment scheduling is here. Notice for this particular form, we're going to go over it. It has the first name and then some of the property information on here. But that's all this is, just real quick for booking a call, hopefully gathering all the property information so that you can be better whenever you make a call because you already have the property information already. So this right here, the lead magnet, it goes back to the promotions. I built one of them for this and I'll just show it to you. So the first one right here is just a very simple template. The second one is very similar, just a little bit of a color change for this one, but claim your how to sell your home in 30 days guide. Okay. Now, where did this come from? This right here is a custom value that's displayed. So whenever you change the custom value, this page will change as well as it will change here and things like that. So this right here is just a basic lead magnet page where you can simply put it out there in social media. They can drive traffic to it, things like that. But this is where people can say, hey, you can even run Facebook pages, Facebook ads to this if you wanted to actually have people sell your home in 30 days guide. So again, just a basic lead magnet. And then this is the basic form that we have on the pop-up. Customize it if you want to, but this is lead magnet number one. If you want to, this is where from there, if you want to include the consultation appointment, this is where you're built into your calendar. And then once they schedule the appointment with you, it's thank you. So again, lead magnet, click on it, download lead magnet. Once they fill out the form, click on OK. The form then has a URL redirect that takes them back to the funnel to the consulting page. From there, they can schedule an appointment, or if they don't schedule an appointment, this is where, you can have a workflow kickoff and do other automations if they didn't schedule the appointment to say, hey, I noticed you got claimed our offer, but you didn't fill out, or you didn't schedule an appointment. I don't know if this was by mistake. Here's an email or text message with our link. And again, that link goes back to the custom value link that I showed you earlier regarding appointment setting. So again, you can put all of this stuff together depending upon the real estate agent's sort of business process or needs. And again, just the lead magnet number two. This is the one, if you take a look at it here, that goes over the free property evaluation. So again, just a little bit different, but same kind of snapshot. And again, it pulls, this is the name of the snapshot right here. So it'll pull in the name, the location, and customize it throughout the page as well. So those are a couple that I put in there that if they wanted a lead magnet, you at least have something to offer. Now, again, I'm a big component of, if you're a real estate agent, you should, even if you use your primary corporate site for all the things that you do, you should have a personal site, personal brand site that you also drive people to. That is also a lead magnet, because if you're going to go meet with somebody and you say, hey, I'm Sandy Johnson, I want to help you sell your home. One of the things you're going to be able to do is go to Google and type in Sandy Johnson real estate agent or something like that to just try to pull up information about you. So it'd be good just to have another site outside of your corporate site that would have additional information, stuff that you personally can't control. Because again, we'll take a look at this, and I like this sort of link tree page. Again, so right now, if you take a look here, this right here is just a basic page. You can have your name on it. It doesn't have to be complex. Again, simple for people to get to. You could say, visit our website, take them over to your corporate site, click here to look at all of our available properties for our listings. Oh, you want to click on searches? Here's your property search button. Have a little sales video. Hi, I'm Sandy Johnson. If you really want to sell your home, this is what our team does. We sell one property every day, blah, blah, blah. You can have a little video that makes it a little bit more personal. And then of course, all of your social media buttons down here at the bottom. So again, customize it, do whatever you want to. Now, one of the things I will show you on this here before I leave this is this property search page. Now, there are a couple of places, a couple of companies that do offer what they call IDX integrations with the MLSs in certain areas. And there's two major ones. I'm not going to go deep into the ones. I'm not trying to promote anybody. But one of the things I want to sit back and make sure that you understand right here is here under the property search, this is a basic page, but notice I'm using this custom HTML JavaScript. This is an element that you have right inside of your builder. If you scroll down, it's the password. Yeah. So it's right here, this custom code. This right here is what you're going to use if you want to use the IDX integration with, sorry, this thing is not zooming back out. If you want to use it with your existing site within Highlevel. So I'm going to click back here. It looks like we're still zoomed out. So give me a second here. So right now, if you want to use this, the IDX integration company, once you sign up and you have their account and things like that, they're going to give you a little embed code. Basically, it's going to be what they call an iframe embed code. It's really no different than how YouTube does embed codes inside their YouTube videos. But here, if you click on this, go to open up code editor, all you need to do is come here and just paste their code right here inside of the custom JavaScript HTML. And then the whole page will now render and open up the IDX integration piece all within your Highlevel page. So if you wanted to have the property search feature not on corporate, but on corporate and maybe on your personal site, you can do that with Highlevel. It should be as easy as that. I'm not sure why my browser keeps failing here, but let's go ahead and get this thing closed. So that right there is just a basic website that I'm giving you, just a small template that you can put out there if they don't have a link tree kind of page, or who knows, the real estate agent could be paying for a link tree page. And that's going to be another, 15 or 20 bucks a month that they're paying for that. Now you can move that cost into your package and give them this as well. all of these services in one place. So again, that's pretty cool. So right now, one of the things I want to also look at here are the forms. We just have an appointment scheduling form and a claim offer form. Claim offer, again, is just something very basic. It's one of the standard forms from Highlevel, just first full name, email, phone number. I did use a theme. If you wanted to, you can come over here to this, click on themes, and choose any other theme that you want to. I think I'm just using this blue texture theme right now. But again, you can use the default. You can customize any other theme in here and customize it if you want. So that's up to you. So again, the appointment scheduling, this is the one that I actually built that has the first name, last name, phone. And then if you wanted to, notice that this information has the asterisk next to it, which means it's required. But the ones down here are not. If people don't want to put in the property information, they don't have to. If you wanted to, you can make it where they would have to put in the property address by just coming over here and making this required. Once you do that, then a little check mark comes out. But for right now, I'm not going to do that. And I did put in these little things right here. These are little pieces of code. All it does is just put a horizontal line. Okay. Because right now I wanted to make this look a little bit better. So if you take a look here, notice it has this little vertical horizontal line right here. Open up two of them. So it has a bar just separating the top part. And then it has another one down here. Delete them if you want to. I was just trying to make them look at least a little bit better. So we're going to go over that in just a minute here. So these are some of the forms that you actually have, and we don't have anything else in here. So let's hop into one of the last pieces, and that's the automation. So I've got several different automation pieces in here that is going to help you out. Some of these are placeholders for you to build on based upon the agent's process, or even if they want to implement these things. So let's go over these step by step. Again, I'm using folders to organize all of this stuff, so we just don't have all the workflows in one. That drives me nuts when that happens. Anyway, so right now, appointment workflows. Again, these are a couple ones. These are really nothing that are spectacular. A lot of these come right from the recipes that are built into Highlevel. This one is slightly modified, so you can use it. But notice you come in here, the trigger is just an appointment confirmed. When the appointment's confirmed here, we're removing them from the lead nurture campaign that we're going to take a look at here. Because obviously when we get a new lead, we're going to sit back and want to have a nurture campaign that's going to email them, maybe text them, do a voicemail drop, something like that, to continue to nurture them, to get them on an appointment call. That's the whole point. Get them on an appointment call to book it. And when they book an appointment, then at that point, you want to stop the nurture because you don't want to keep beating them up to say, hey, give me an appointment. Let's sign up and talk about your property or what you're looking to do. So you're just removing them from the nurture campaign. Here's where I told you, if you keep using that pipeline, you can rename it, but the pipeline will still be here, whatever you rename it. And we're just going to move them from the new lead to appointment schedule. So again, that's just going to be a change. And if you wanted to, I don't have this, but you can create a whole other workflow for pipeline. Like when somebody moves in the appointment schedule, what do you want them to do? And that's going to be a little bit further down when we deal with pipeline management. But right now, we're just doing that. We're sending out a confirmation email, waiting 24 hours, sending them another one. Hey, you got a meeting in 24 hours. Hey, we have another one in an hour. Hey, we've got one in 5 minutes, just to make sure that they don't miss that scheduled appointment. So that's all this does. Now, the next thing that you're going to do is you have just your appointment no-shows. So that right there is just going to be, if they don't show up for the appointment, then you just go into the calendar appointment, select the option for confirmed, and you're just going to choose no-show. When they do no-show, then the appointment no-show thing will fire. And then you can again put them up on a different nurture campaign. But hey, I saw you miss our appointment. I know this is really important to you as it is to me. So click here to reschedule the appointment and things like that. But that's already here for you as well. And I'll open this up. And it's just very simple. Here's the trigger and reschedule links and all the other things like that. Now, of course, the reschedule links, of course, depends upon what? It depends upon the appointment scheduling custom value that you have. So that's why it's important to fill out those custom values. So that just handles your appointment management there. Now, this right here, you don't need, I throw this in here myself. These are some standard ones that I use for contact management. So right now, one of the things about being a real estate agent is that sometimes you get leads. These leads have bad email addresses, bad phone numbers, or phone numbers that you can't text, things like that. So how do you handle contacts when you get a new lead and then the email address doesn't work? Okay. First of all, one of the primary things that you should be able to do here inside of this is to make sure and verify that all the email addresses that you use are verified before you actually send things out. Okay. Now I'm going to show you where that feature is in Highlevel in just a minute. But for right now, what happens if it's a bad email address and it bounces? What happens if somebody unsubscribes? What happens if they report you as spam? What happens if the phone number is bad, or if they unsubscribe from that, or it's SMS incapable? So you can't text them, like a landline. So if it is that, then how do you handle that? What logic do you want to perform in order to compensate for that, or have a team member do something as a result of it? So right now, we're not going to go over all these. I'm just giving these for you here. These have different things inside of here for you to be able to just customize and apply your own logic if you want to. Now, before I forget here, I'm going to come into here, but I'm going to go to your settings, and inside of your business profile here, I'm going to come down, and right here is where you need, I've got this set in my snapshot, but you need to have this selected. Verify email address when email is sent to a new contact. Now, why do I say that? First of all, I'm going to say that for a couple different reasons, but the first one is you want to make sure that you don't spend money on sending out emails when you already know it's a bad email address. Number one. Number two, if you send out an email address and it bounces, that looks bad for you. Okay. It counts against you. If you look at if you have a lot of bounces in the system, then it could really start counting against you. And that could be a problem. Highlevel can even start sending you an email saying, hey, your bounce rate is really high. You really shouldn't have that if you just check that feature to verify the email address. Now, in all full disclosure, verifying the email address does have a very small cost, like some kind of crazy fraction of a penny to do an email verification, but you should absolutely do that because if not, you don't want to bother sending somebody out if you know the email address is just going to bounce. Okay. So that's what that's for. So the next thing we're going to go over here is this existing client nurture. Now, this has really nothing to do with incoming leads, but I wanted to give you something that you can help nurture existing customers that your real estate agent has. When you're a real estate agent, somebody is going to come back to you because you built a relationship with them. That relationship doesn't exist just because you sold them a house 3 years ago, and now they're looking to sell that house and move into a bigger house. Who are they going to call? Maybe not you, because you may not have ever been in contact with them for the past 3 years, done anything for them. So this right here is an existing nurture campaign. So a lot of real estate agents put their existing clients that have already bought and sold properties with them on a nurture campaign, even if it's once a month, once every 2 months, something. But it's just a nurture campaign where you email people and you say, hey, not sure if, but this is some of the new features that are out there in the real estate market. If you're looking to do this, now is a good time to refinance or something if the interest rates are low. But you create emails to be able to send out to your existing clients. This is where you can build it. And all this is just a very simple nurture campaign. It doesn't have any trigger because, you're going to end up manually assigning this workflow to a person. Like maybe when the pipeline goes from, to they actually bought or sold a house, when they moved in there and you moved them to a 1 status, you can drag them. And I'm not going to be able to show you that because I don't have any contacts in here, but let's just say you drag a contact, you 1 loss, whatever. Let's just say you say 1, great. We won that particular deal. We sold their house. Now you can actually have this long-term nature, this long-term workflow trigger, but all it is just send email, wait a certain number of days, send out another email, wait another certain number of days. So I just want to give you a format that you can use for this, and you can send out as many emails as you want. And then obviously if you wanted to, if you have standard evergreen type of emails that you like to send to people, then you can just build all of them out here and then continue to add and add to this to just continue to send people into a nurture sequence. So moving on here, but again, I want to give that to you. So here's our new client nurture. So this is like what happens whenever a client applies right away. They just fill out one of your lead magnet forms. They just went to your website. Maybe it could be your Linktree website and something like that. You could have a form on there where they could contact form on that particular website that you can add there if they wanted to. But this right here is, again, one of the ones that came with the snapshot from Highlevel. So a lot of this was already built out, but all this means is that they click on this. Now this is actually, they're claiming their offer. So this is the claim offer form. Whenever somebody submits that, then this gets fired. It moves them into a new lead stage, into the pipeline, sends them an email, sends them a text message. Text message is, hey, thank you for claiming our promotion. Have you ever worked with a real estate agent in the past? And then come down here, they're going to wait 2 minutes. And then they're going to see, oh, did the person reply? If they did, we're going to go down this branch. If they didn't, we're going to go down this branch. So that's really it. I'm not going to go over the email in depth. If you could follow it yourself, but ultimately, did they reply? If they did, then yeah, move them to a different stage of the pipeline. Was it positive or negative? If it was positive or negative, then you're going to move to a certain branch. But this is available for you to customize if you want to respond to the lead right away. Now, if you don't, you can come down here or even in addition, put them into a nurture sequence. So this right here, I don't have a trigger on it. You can trigger this manually from either the other workflow that we just saw. At the very end of that, when they get to a certain stage, you can say they didn't respond right away. So I'm going to put them on a nurture campaign for, the next 2 weeks or 30 days or whatever it is to try to continue to nurture them. So again, very similar. Nurture email 1, wait a day. Email 2, wait a day. First couple of days, you might hit them up. And then after that, you might wait a couple of days so you're not hitting them up with an email every day. So you can build out your own nurture sequence. I just wanted to at least give you something that as a cookie cutter so you can begin, building it out yourself and not have to completely create it from scratch. Now, the next one we have is pipeline management. So here, this is where if you wanted to have a particular workflow for each particular stage of your pipeline, you could. But right now, the only thing I've got right here is a stale leads, meaning if people stay in the pipeline for a certain number of days. So if they're not responding, so let's just say they're in the client tracking pipeline, they're a new lead and the duration is 14 days and they haven't moved in 14 days, they stay in there. What do you want to have happen? Do you want to contact a team member? Do you want to send them a text message? What is it that you want to do for this? Now this workflow right here, the stale leads, really needs to work in conjunction with your lead nurture. But I at least want to give this to you so you can at least do something. Even if you don't contact the client directly, a stale lead could be like, hey, send an internal notification to the team saying this person has been in the pipeline more than 14 days. So maybe you actually reach out and give them a live call from the office at that point. So hopefully this kind of makes sense. And then one of the last things that we got here is, a couple more things. Review management, request follow-up. So again, when you're sending a review request, this right here again is pretty straightforward. So let's just say in the pipeline, the trigger here is if you move an opportunity to one in the one status, then it triggers this. It removes them from the nurture sequence workflow because you don't want to keep sending it to them. It sends them an email request and an SMS request based upon the templates that you have defined. And then it waits 3 days and then sends an internal notification to the team about following up to see if that person left a review. Okay. And then, of course, if they did leave a review, this is where, again, it's not built in here because I can't put it into the snapshot, but you can have the review AI system automatically reply to those people automatically in the side of the system. But again, you have to configure that yourself. That right there is just a quick workflow to do the request management and then the social media. So here, I can't really do anything here. I'm leaving this sort of as a blank. And I did this on purpose because the social media comments, if you know, you can, once you have your Instagram page and your Instagram account and your Facebook page connected, so you do need a live integration, then you can actually set a trigger on whether or not somebody leaves a comment on particular posts. So again, you could have a sequence of posts that you want to go out and look at that are lead generation. And if somebody replies, then you might want to do something like send them a booking request, back on that channel or something like that. You might want to send them a request, but this is always something that people should be using if you're doing social media outreach for promoting and doing lead magnets and stuff like that. Specifically, if you're posting stuff like, hey, free property evaluation on social media for people. And if they reply, you could even just say, hey, I tell you what, just leave the word free, comment the word free on this post, and then I'll reach out to you and get the information I need from you. That's all you need. That trigger right there is all you need to set up a workflow to capture that particular keyword and then respond back to them automatically with an appointment booking or something to go over their report once you get it ready. So those are the automations that come with this automatically that I'm giving you. So we've already gone over sites. The only other one is the reputation part here. So under reputation for settings, this is where you can come set up your responses and program it and set up for what star review you want, things like that. If you're really interested in this, I have a whole other video on my YouTube channel regarding review AI that you can take a look at that shows you how to completely do all of this. You do get the review link whenever you integrate your Google Business Profile. This is not connected because this is not a real company, but I did come here and just create a little SMS template for you. This right here, again, change the photo here if you want to, change the text, but I wanted to at least give you something that you can use for that. And then your email request. If you take a look earlier, that email review, if we look at the open email builder, this right here is that email that I showed you earlier in one of the email templates. And again, it's very similar to what the text message is, but this right here is what you can build out. And then when you send out that workflow for send out requests, then these templates that you already have defined here will go. Now these templates will be brought down in the snapshot. Those are allowed. And then of course, if you wanted to, you can come in here and set up your reviews, QR code, all those cool type of things. But having set up all the things that you need to set up afterwards, now that's all the stuff that I'm giving you in the snapshot. And I know it's a lot, but I really want to sit back and at least give you something that'll give you a good basis to at least jumpstart your way to getting a real estate agent client set up and configured. Now, let's hop over some of the things that you need to be able to look at here for the real estate agent snapshot. These are things that you need to do afterwards that I can't include in the snapshot for you, but still need to be done if you want to sit back and have a real estate agent as a client. So let's go to the next one here. Items to get set up here. A2P registration. This is going to be an absolute must. Okay. You need a phone number inside of Highlevel because you will have text communications going back and forth, outbound text messages from the agent to other people that you will need A2P registration in order to do that. So get that process started right away, get them a phone number. And then from there, that phone number can also be used for any of the AI features like the AI voice and stuff like that. If they want to have that sort of virtual receptionist feature as well, they will also need a phone number set of Highlevel for that, but you don't need A2P registration for that. Now, a dedicated email domain. This is where inside, if you go to Highlevel, under settings, you go to email services. This is where you need to come here and get this set up here. You're going to see this if there's not a dedicated domain. So this is where any emails that come out of the system, they will need a domain to actually set up for this. Now, do you want to use their root domain for this? I don't know. This is going to be up to you. If they've already got their, I'll use the word Sandy Johnson. Let's just say Sandy Johnson did by sandyjohnson.com. Now she can have sandyjohnson.com as her root email domain. So emailing her to be sandy@sandyjohnson.com. That email domain is probably already pointing toward the website. It's already in use. What you want to do is probably buy something similar, like sandyjohnson.realestate, sandyjohnson.net. You can use one of those domains to set up as a configured email domain. And then when you send out emails, it still looks like it's coming from Sandy Johnson. It just won't be coming from sandyjohnson.com. Okay. Now you could configure sandyjohnson.com, but you would have to configure subdomain, something like email.sandyjohnson.com. You could do that if you want to, but that's going to be completely up to you on how you set that up. But I do want to sit back and at least just let you know what still needs to be done. Now, the next one is just branded domain. I don't mean to do that. So a lot of people miss this. Okay. And I have a video about branded domains and why this is such a big mistake for people to get set up here. So for this, when they do this, branded domain feature is right here under business profile. Okay. And this is a domain that you need to set up for any of the links that Highlevel sends out. Now, if this is blank, then all of the links that are going to be sent out are either going to be Highlevel's like msgndr.com domain or something like that, or even worse than that, it could be the agency domain that you have set up. So if you have an agency level domain set up, then that domain is what's going to be sent. The links are going to be sent out using that agency brand and not necessarily your real estate agent brand. So it could be your domain being sent out in links of what it looks like to your domain, even though the real estate agent has their own. So here you want to put in something like link.sandyjohnson.net. If you already have sandyjohnson.net going out for emails, then maybe you want to just have like link or something like that, whatever, another subdomain that you can use here for branded. So therefore, any links that get sent out would be like link.sandyjohnson.net / a whole bunch of garbage characters or something like that. But it looks like it's coming from sandyjohnson.something. Okay. So be sure you configure the branded domains. Otherwise, the links and stuff like that, people are going to look at it and go, I don't know what that is. And they're going to be less likely to click on it, especially when it comes to appointment setting. Next thing is going to be integrating their Facebook and Instagram. We've already talked about that. If they already have it, most of them are already going to have an account. If they're an agent, they're going to be active on social media. So they're going to definitely need to have their Facebook and Instagram connected. Once they do that, then you can configure the workflows and set up the social planner accounts and things like that. So going in social planner accounts, if they want to start using the social planner, this is where you can go in and show them how. Go here and put in your Instagram account, your Facebook, your LinkedIn account, your TikTok account, your YouTube channel, all those accounts that are in the social planner, those still need to be configured manually after you have the snapshot downloaded. And then lastly, the website chat widget. So if they do have a chat widget, now I don't have a chat widget built on this one here. I don't make it a part of the snapshot because it's relatively easy to set that up using the wizard. So if you come back over here to this and go to your sites, I believe here, and here is the chat widget at the top. So here you can configure new. You can configure either an SMS, the live chat. My personal favorite is the live chat because it's more engaging for people to ask questions and more real time. Or if you want to use WhatsApp for that, for those people that want to use WhatsApp. So configure yourself a chat widget, put it on the site that we've already just talked about, the Linktree site here, copy the code embedded on their other website, however you want to do that. But definitely get that website chat widget up and going. And again, if you want to use AI, I didn't include that, but if you want to use AI, this is where you would need to get your AI agent set up. Inside of the account, configure the agent for that. You would need to set up your reviews AI to respond to all the review requests. You will need to set up conversation AI in this in order to get, if you want to go here to this and go to your conversation AI, probably just version 2 for this one. And it's probably going to, it's not going to have me migrate, but you can sit back and create a bot. Now, why do you need this bot? You need the bot if you want to use it to monitor the live chat channel. So if they're going to be doing live chat, if you want the bot ultimately to answer questions regarding somebody, you'd have to program the bot. And again, I have several videos on my YouTube channel regarding how to build these bots and program it and different things like that. So all of that's available if you want to do that. But these are all things that have to be done after the snapshot, and all the customization I've talked about are done as part of the onboarding process in order to get all of these features done and set up for the real estate agent to really start being active. Of course, I didn't put in here any of the domains. I figured that would be pretty self-explanatory, that if you're bringing in a lead magnet, then the lead magnet would have to be a certain domain, whatever you want to use for that lead magnet to link it to. They could buy another domain. They could use a subdomain under sandyjohnson.com to go there. It's going to be completely up to you on how you want to design that for the client. So guys, I know this was a lot. I know real estate agents are a big niche that people want to go after. So what I'm trying to do is try to give you some general information about real estate agents, why they need Highlevel, so that when you talk to them, you can talk to them in their language, how to save them money on all of these other features. Remember, we talked about what, nine different things that we could use Highlevel for that could save them money if they're already paying for it. So these are just crazy how you can build a package for a real estate agent and save them time, energy, and money, bring it all together as one and save them energy and we didn't even talk about this, but again, giving them the Lead Connector mobile app. Okay. So now they can use the Lead Connector mobile app to look at all the new leads. They can look at their pipeline. They can look at their social media presence now. They can make or take phone calls from there. They can do all kinds of cool stuff with their mobile app. And again, that's another feature that you can give them to sell. So guys, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, smash that thing, say, hell yes, Ray delivered a ton of value on this video. I'm going to give him a like. I'm going to leave him a comment on this one because he definitely deserves it. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. If you guys are looking to sign up for Highlevel and you have not signed up yet, I have a 30-day link in the description below. I also have a free course on there. Look at all those links out there. I have a free course. If you're still learning to use Highlevel, I've got a course that shows you 9 different things that you can use to sell inside of Highlevel on top of the stuff that we've already talked about here. So guys, thanks so much. I really do appreciate you hanging in there with me and have a great day. Bye-bye.